Yaga yo. So guys, the topic is the same sort of thing, just going on a bit more waxing lyrical. Okay, so where I'm staying is a ground floor property, a flat. So when you open the front door, you walk out onto the street. When I was with one of my final narcs, I had this very short situationship with a narc. When I used to open my front door and walk out, and she would walk out, and the difference was night and day. She would walk out with the door wide, completely wide open, so everybody can see. And with one of the narc that was on the highest scale of narcissism that I ever went with, which was like quite a long relationship, which was like the worst narc that I went with. She used to do the same. She used to get ready with the curtains open, and I would draw the curtains, so she'd be literally naked in her window. And one time I was with her, and a lady was telling her, signaling to her to cover up. A lady was saying that, and there was an old man sat in a chair in this new build high-rise building, and I think the old man knew the time that she would get ready, so he would sit out there, and the lady was that, I think that might have been her granddad or dad or something. And these characters, they do this in a way. It could be also to advertise themselves to people. I had this when I was working out in this park, and next to the park there were these flats, and this lady was making her bed in completely nude and acting like it was just normal, and maybe she's comfortable in her own skin or whatever, but or she may have forgotten she'd gone to bed that way. It's also a possibility. But this is also something that a lot of narcs do, in terms of some of them, they are exhibitionists, and the somatics. These guys, they like the attention. They get a lot of supply from people looking at them, and also they themselves, they don't have boundaries. Yeah, so narcs, you can always tell them how they respond to when you put a boundary in place, because they will push it to the absolute limit, or they will step around it. They'll step around it, or they will absolutely behave as if nothing happened, like you never made the boundary, and continue to push you. And this is basically one of the reasons why, because they don't have boundaries themselves, so they don't know what it's like to uphold boundaries, but they don't respect boundaries. And just to state this as well, just because you make a boundary doesn't mean you're not going to face abuse, or you're not going to face abuse. Narcs step over boundaries, break boundaries, do things in regards to your boundaries all the time. The question is up to you to have a response, to have consequences, and to stick to them. So when they step over your boundary or they break your boundary, you have to just remove access. You have to step away from them. You have to give them the no contact, grey rock, and try to remove yourself as far possible as you can. I just walked past someone who was coming out their house on a public space, and his whole body, he just froze and staring at me like, these are the narcissists of this world. It's a free country, it's a free world, you can use the pavement, yet for them it's, again, how dare you, who do you think you are? that's how these characters, they have a very, very strange outlook on the world, and there's no use of trying to understand them, because there is actually a part of their grey matter that's actually faulty. Obviously, we know that they have no empathy, and they're not able to see things from other people's point of view. So let's talk more about this boundaries. It could be a sexual thing where I had this before, where you might have certain proclivities, so because of that they will test you. So they might want to do something and take it a step further. They might want to introduce people into the bedroom. They might want to step out on the relationship. In fact, they will step out on the relationship because they like supply, so they like having multiple warm bodies, multiple lovers. This narc that I was seeing for this short time, one of the things that she did, she told me she was going away to see her brother, and she didn't send me any photos of her on a holiday with her brother. She sent me a picture from a rooftop, which is nothing basically. A photo from a rooftop, which it could be any rooftop. It could have been my next door neighbor's rooftop. They get a charge from they actually get a charge from fooling people, from tricking people, from lying, from gaslighting, from manipulating. These people that are doing drugs, these zombies that are around here. You see these zombies that are taking drugs and that are sitting on the street. Nobody's stalking them, nobody's following them, nobody's questioning them for what they're doing. But us, we have a car parked up on our roads when we leave our buildings. When we're going in, people are leaving. When we're leaving, people are going in. All of these patterns we obviously see because of the pattern recognition. So we notice all of these behaviors. What else did I want to speak about? Okay, this is another one. They have a filing cabinet for when you did something wrong. So if you stepped out of line or you said something and you didn't even mean it in a bad way, they will put it in their filing cabinet to bring up later. And this happened with one of my ex-toxic colleagues, where I was talking about someone in my gym and how they were competing with me, and he brought it up and started calling me a name. So they went to this right-wing anti-immigrant march in London, and when they came back literally completely different. Like they had been radicalized, and they were against black people, etc., etc. So I made a comment about something, and he started saying, "You're racist. You said this white man had legs like this, like that." And I was like, "What?" And I was talking specifically about that man, and I was verbally abusing that man to him, specifically because that guy had was posturing some sort of dominant masculinity towards me, and I was sort of standing my ground. So I was just abusing the guy verbally to who I thought was a friend of mine, but obviously he wasn't. He was just someone who, again, was using me for supply. And as soon as I kind of realized who he was, and I was against this right-wing marches, being a descendant of immigrants myself, being black, I was then attacked. I was then thrown to the wolves, as it were, straight away. So these people, they're fickle, they're fake people. There's nothing there with them. They're constantly wanting a reaction. They're loud, they talk loudly, they're stepping in your footsteps, they're following us, they're stalking us. The amount of times I've had my computer changed, they're stalking us, they're setting spyware on our computer. And the funny thing about this world is that this demonic 3D is a narc world. Even these companies that are, when you go onto a website and it says, they want to add cookies, that again is quite a narc behavior, to want to to spy on people, to watch what people are looking at so they can advertise to them products or whatever. It's very narc-like, taking away the opportunity of choice. See, lack of consciousness, loud on the street, walking, talking loudly. So that is essentially most of the points I wanted to get across. I think there's a few that I didn't get across, but we can always do them again in another video. Oh, it's a piece of police parked up there. They're doing facial recognition. That's also very narc-like. So yeah, we will touch up on this again. We could touch up on this topic again. We could touch up on this topic again because there's some points that I wanted to get across that I don't think I remembered. Yeah, but it was just mainly just my boundaries being tested, or my boundaries being either evaded or eroded by these narcopaths. And I'm sure there'll be many more to come in the future, because these people, they can't help themselves. In fact, that's actually a way that you can set some traps for them, because they just can't help themselves, these characters. Anyway, I think that will do for now. I'll see you on the next one. Keep moving forward in a positive way.